Welcome back to WTF Sports. We're going to hop right into a 2024 NFL QB ranking video. Let's just do it.
Oh yeah. All right. So to preface this, we are going to be ranking the team's starting quarterbacks for Week 1 of the season. So
Yes,
not
from
like
week.
from like so Drake May won't be in this. Michael Penix Jr. is not going to be in this.
Yeah.
And like if they only played a few weeks, it doesn't matter. That was their designated starter for this season.
Yep.
So we're ranking those players. And then another thing to account at the beginning, we're not really factoring wins
Uh, yeah.
because
Wins, stats, is just how they played when they played.
stats aren't going to be the number. I mean, stats aren't the number one thing. Wins we don't look at that much. It's just who played the best, and we all know who played the worst, and that's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
Deshaun Diddy
little
Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Yep. I mean, what else can you say here? He was
Horrible.
awful. Played.
I don't think we got to add much more to
So,
that.
yeah, exactly. And he's not gonna play next season either. So the
He
Browns
should
are-
retire, get locked up, and then Gardner Minshew. Another bum, honestly, this season. I was hoping he was gonna do good because like he did decent with the Jag or who did he play for?
Colts.
Colts. Yeah, I was
Almost had him in the playoffs.
I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, and then he just fell apart.
Yeah. It shows like talent is huge,
Yeah, and then
and the Raiders have no talent. So
hey, Brock
Except for
Bowers.
Brock-
Yeah,
Brock Bowers,
don't
yeah.
forget the best tight end in the league. Speaking of no talent, we have Daniel Jones,
yeah, I don't think this was very wrong of us.
number 30.
At number 30, we have Daniel Jones, a guy that got cut mid-season because of how awful he was in New York. Just never really worked out after the
They paid him
contract.
Yeah.
So just it's unfortunate, but
generational fall off. And then
even-
Jacoby Brissett. Obviously, this is more of a. I mean, he came in. They kind of knew he was just a placeholder.
yeah,
but-
he's more of a bridge guy.
Yeah, he didn't play good. So
Yeah, he didn't play good at all. So yeah, that's why he's at 29.
Drake May would be definitely higher than this, but
Yeah, I
like we
agree.
said, we're only going off the beginning. Will Levis. What can you say about Will Levis that hasn't already been said?
Honestly, universal choke artist.
Universal choke.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody like Jared Goff is a choke artist.
Yeah.
Will Levis is universal. Like, there's nobody better at it than him. I think.
And he does it with style every single
Yeah.
time, no matter what.
It was like 3 straight games, like where you had.
I think
like,
it was 5
worst plays of all time. Like it
with
was
with
ridiculous.
just a goofy picture that came with it.
Yeah.
And he did that
Yeah.
consistently. But I do take him over all the guys before him because he
He at
moves.
least puts his life on the line.
Yeah,
he
he'll-
puts his life on the line when he's out there. He's just not going to play very well.
Yeah.
But-
And then another guy who is kind of fallen off. Definitely.
Now I
falling
will
off.
say that if Liam Cohen finds a way to revive Trevor Lawrence,
Like he did with Baker?
would be good. But my problem is when you find these number 1 QBs that were taken in the first round, and their team stank, like their first couple years there, you get this problem where they
Get like
where the
demoralized.
quarterbacks aren't as confident.
Yeah.
Like quarterbacks aren't as confident. They never get to reach their true potential because they were scarred or like they're
They're
worried. They
used to
don't have
being bad.
confidence in their offensive line. They don't have confidence in their wide receivers to make this catch. Like that's something that has to be installed like year one. Like you have to be able to rely on that.
And
Like if you look at the team that, let's just say, Patrick Mahomes played on, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is anywhere where he was before, but his first year of starting was after a year of sitting, and the team that he started on was good, and he was able to have confidence in his offensive line. He was able to have confidence in his defense. He was able to have confidence in his wide receivers to catch the balls he's throwing, right?
yeah.
Trevor Lawrence never had that, especially in his first few years. So this is why he's here. I think he could be better, but right now he's not.
Yeah.
So
And I want to add something onto this with Liam Cohen going there. Right, this is the guy that, for the most part, helped revive Baker Mayfield's career.
I would say he did.
Or I'm assuming he had some part in giving him a chance again.
Yeah.
Right. And I want to say this though, with Mason's whole confidence thing, Baker Mayfield is the ultimate exception.
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody plays football like Baker Mayfield does, and that sets him apart. He was on the Browns and then the Panthers and got cut from the Panthers.
Yep, and
He
the
got cut from the Panthers.
Or no, the Rams.
The Rams. Yeah, then he played the Rams, had a gorgeous game, and then Bucks were like, all right, we'll give you a shot. So then he drops the good season. All right, we'll give you another shot. 43 touchdowns. So it's like Liam Cohen, he could revive.
We're talking more about Baker.
My bad. Baker Glaze. You know how we were mentioning with the last player that like they're putting their life on the line? They're putting their life on the line with Aaron Rodgers. He's old. Honestly, putting him above Trevor Lawrence, I'd say they're pretty much equal, but at least Aaron Rodgers, I can't say anything good about any of these quarterbacks if I'm being 100% honest.
Aaron Rodgers is just a shell of what he used to be.
Yeah, he's just playing for the money at this point, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't see a situation where like he is anywhere near as good as he once was. I do think he'll start for a team next year if he doesn't retire. But I don't think that he will ever look as good as he once did. And just doesn't have the longevity that Tom Brady has.
He's not like LeBron. He ain't built for it.
Yeah, for real.
So, then
anyways,
Derek Carr.
I mean, he's always had problems. Like, let's be honest, always had problems with him being consistent. And
he was injured part of this.
And he played this year though. It was definitely apparent. The offensive line started to crumble.
And he fell apart.
We all know Derek Carr, when he gets under pressure, he is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. So, yeah, that's what happened, and that's why he's at 25.
And yeah, like he didn't play the full season too, so he didn't have a chance to really redeem himself. But honestly, he probably would have been lower had he not gotten injured. So, yeah. And then another guy that also didn't get to play a full season, but not because he was injured, because he was sucking. And that's Kirko Cousins.
Yeah, Kirko Cousins, all right.
Kirko Cousins. Kirko Chains, my guy.
Kirk Cousins. He looked good at the
beginning
of the season.
Great start.
Wow, this guy is playing incredibly, a 500-yard game. And we thought, the Falcons actually made the right choice. And then
he had a generational fall off.
I've never seen a guy play as bad as Kirk Cousins did in the second half of the season, as Kirk Cousins did.
Yeah. I don't know how you go from like 2 interceptions and like 15 touchdowns to 15 touchdowns and like 17 interceptions.
Yeah, like something ridiculous like
that.
Yeah,
he's
at that point.
Yep, and he's getting cut too. So, or more than likely, if they don't cut him, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I would be.
Because Penix was great. I'd take Penix over Kirk. But moving on from Kirk. We got Tua Tagovailoa, Mr. Brain Damage himself, Mr. CTEs.
I just don't understand his decisions in this season, but
yeah, I don't know why he kept playing.
He honestly probably should look at retiring, but
wouldn't be a bad idea.
He probably won't. He's already claimed that he doesn't need one of the safety helmet things.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
And he's like one decent hit away from his brain like evaporating.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see like an Antonio Brown situation with him. But,
yeah, probably will actually.
But feel bad for the guy, but then again, like you got to make some like healthy choices, and he's not. So
yeah,
23 I think is suitable for
and well, I guess we didn't talk about how he played at all. He played okay. He played good enough to get the team to like a decent record. Better record than I think every team before this, excluding the Falcons. But that's Kirk didn't play the full season and played terribly, so that's an exclusion. Yeah, neither did Tua. He was out for a good portion. And I mean, frankly, honestly, in my opinion, from Tua back, so like the quarterbacks we've gone over so far, I would say they are bad to like mediocre.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these guys are decent or good.
I think a few ahead of this are also. But
Yeah. But I don't remember exactly who, so I just wanted to cover that in case. Next up, yeah, definitely.
Honestly, I would probably put him lower than we did.
Yeah,
but
because he's so hit or miss. He will throw a 100-yard pass and then call the game. I mean, he literally did actually.
Yeah.
He was playing with the Joel Embiid mindset.
Yeah. So I think he finished with the worst completion percentage for a quarterback in NFL history.
It's like 40.
Yeah. It was awful. He obviously though the Colts played noticeably better when he was playing.
Yeah, because he has a run presence, which is definitely a big portion of the only portion of his game right now.
Yeah, the problem is that he was just not a very good passer. He made awful decisions, and he turnover machine. Like,
I mean, what
probably should have put him lower.
He played 13 games of college, right? Like something like that. Yeah, so he definitely doesn't have the experience, honestly. But I think give him some time, and he.
There's talks about the Colts moving on from him.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Because of the fact that he's been so bad.
Wow, I didn't think in year 2, or I guess after year 2. Wow, that's crazy. That's new to me. Yeah. Either way, he needs to figure it out. We definitely should have put him lower than this. This is a little high.
I agree.
Dak Prescott is our next guy, though. And Dak, I mean, you look at the Cowboys, you think nothing good of them. And honestly, he got embarrassed at home over and over and over again.
Yeah. But, like we said, this was how they played, not how their record showed up. And I think that Dak was better than all the guys before.
Yeah.
There's an argument about that.
And because he still played okay. I mean, he did have his fair share of turnovers, but
he was still good.
Yeah, he didn't look just bad like some of these other guys did. And I mean, when you don't have a run game at all, you're kind of screwed a little bit too as a QB. Yeah.
So I think 21 is actually a great spot for him. So
right in the middle, or a little above, a little in the lower half. Then moving up to top 20, number 20, Bryce Young.
All right, this one's an interesting one. I'll let you start on it though.
All right, yeah. So you see them Panthers, the 4-win team, 3-win team, and you're like, why is he at number 20 over some of those other guys? He played good. He didn't play that much, but when he came out after being benched, he looked really good. He was he put up a fight against the Chiefs, the Super Bowl. Yeah. He was putting up good games against a lot of good teams.
Yeah, he just couldn't win them. I mean, you look at their roster and you'd be like, how could you even become close?
They have nobody.
But you could argue that being benched was the best thing that ever happened to Bryce Young.
I think it gave him that motivation to what am I doing?
Yes. And there's a lot of speculation too, because Dave Canales, their head coach, was called the quarterback whisperer when Bryce Young was not looking good at all at the beginning of the season, and he got benched. People were like, okay, what are the Panthers going to do now? That was their first overall pick. And then he comes back and he looks 10 times better than he did before. I would say he looked 10 times better than the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna, assuming he can get someone to throw to, because Adam Thielen's gonna have to hit the retirement home soon.
And then Xavier Legette
he's okay. I mean, he might end up improving a lot, but he's not this stud yet.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mean, he have nobody. There's no one else. Their run game is it's decent. Chuba Hubbard's pretty solid, actually.
Yeah.
But
and their offensive line is actually much better than it was.
Yeah.
So
Panthers could be a 6-win team soon. Maybe a 5-win team.
I would actually predict that they'd be a 6-7 win team next year.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see. We'll be making our predictions on it, so we'll have to give you that. But yeah, I mean, Bryce Young at 20, and we got Geno Smith, my man, at 19.
That he had an okay season.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, do I want to move on from Geno? Absolutely. 100%. I'm tired of watching this guy.
I would too, but you just the inconsistent play is there.
it's
Like it's just
yeah, he either will lead them to a 6-3 win with 2 field goals.
which, by the way, shouldn't have been 6-3 win. It should have been like a 10-6 loss.
Yep.
But the refs like to inject themselves on games.
Yeah, I will say too.
We were there. Go check out that video.
We were there. Great video.
There.
Mason got engaged. Maybe you gotta go watch. But
Yeah.
I will say with Gino especially, his line does not exist right now. We have 2 good tackles, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
Our center retired mid-season,
Yeah, it's wild.
so it's like we don't have a line. And I will say Gino is very good on his feet. I will always hold him to that. So that's why I push for this 19. I think it's fair, because then coming in at 18 we got Russ, Mr. Unlimited, another Seahawks legend. Honestly, I want to say future Hall of Famer, but that's debatable, very debatable. But I think I mean Russ, he did good. I don't think he showed flashes of like this guy's him, but
He played decently, okay? Because his first few games, he was pretty good. Like, it's like, okay, at least the Steelers maybe benched Justin Fields for a reason, and then they started losing. Losing. It's like almost like bring Justin Fields back. Like, this is bad.
yeah. But then he picked it up again, right?
No.
Oh,
They lost out, dude.
oh, I didn't realize
They
that.
lost the playoffs. They got blown out in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, the playoffs was embarrassing. But yeah, still
So, yeah.
he was okay. I think when he was playing good, he made Pickens look a lot better. Sometimes better than Kenny Pickett did. Anything's better than Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, we'll say. But I mean, I think that he's decent. He'll end up starting somewhere.
Yeah,
Probably
definitely.
not the Steelers. I don't know. The Steelers seem hesitant to pay anybody. So
Yeah, he could easily see a future with the Raiders. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. Raiders, Jets. I mean, Raiders, Pete Carroll reunion. I know Pete Carroll's a defensive guy, but still.
that could be a thing.
That'd
But
be
I'm actually pretty sure that Russ didn't like Pete Carroll.
interesting.
I'm pretty sure that Russ didn't like Pete Carroll. We'll see.
We will see. Moving on from that though, number 17, we got Kyler Murray. They didn't win crazy much, but when they won. And Kyler Murray, I mean, the little what? He's like 4'3", and I mean he looked good. I mean he didn't.
I would say he wasn't like amazing, but like he did his job. I
He
think that
wasn't bad. I think is the thing.
maybe if he were to throw the ball to his 6 foot something, I
6'4",
forget.
6'4". He's
6
tall.
foot 5,
Yeah.
6'5" wide receiver that has magnets for hands. They might have done better, but
Yeah. Instead, he's gonna just scramble.
yeah.
And
but,
I think their coaching could have a play as well.
yes, I honestly think that Jonathan Gannon is one of the biggest jokes of a head coach in the NFL. Honestly.
Yeah. I think Kyler Murray's definitely not a quarterback to get like first overall pick. Hey, I don't think you give up on him. I mean he's fine. I think he's a decent quarterback.
I would say like you could argue for them to move on, but like right now it doesn't really make any sense. They don't have a pick that's worthy of it.
Yeah, I mean he's a starting quarterback in this league, 100%.
Yeah, he's top 32, I would say. So
Yeah, top 32. Well, he's top 17 in our opinion.
well, I mean top 32, like as in like he'd start somewhere.
Yeah,
like if he
yeah,
go.
I agree, 100%. And then moving on to 16, Caleb Williams. And you guys might be saying, "Oh, but he was a 4-win team or 5-win team." Oh, woohoo! Let me cry about it. You look at the stats; he played really good. Like what, 5 interceptions?
3,600 yards. I think he had like what 200 yards less than like Bo Nix and.
Yeah, he was very close to them in yards. He had 5 interceptions.
He had 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions.
As a rookie, with no offensive line. Offensive line.
Actually, he led the league by like 25 in evaded sacks.
And also led the league in sacks.
Yeah, so if that doesn't give you a good enough metric on how bad the Bears' offensive line was, then I don't know what does.
And to only throw 5 interceptions out of that?
He evaded like I think he said 51 sacks.
Yeah,
Also,
it was something crazy like that.
He was sacked like 70 times. So it's just I don't know how you could argue that like this guy doesn't have the talent to absolutely jump off the board sometime in the future. Like Jaden Daniels did this year. I mean, you just got to get the right coaching, and the
And he
Bears
has
have.
Ben Johnson, who's going to build his game plan around Caleb Williams.
Yeah, which is really exciting.
So yeah, the Bears might be back, but then a team that's not back or is back, because I don't remember who's next, is Brock. Oh yeah, they're not back.
Honestly,
But they were so injured, which is their big issue.
Yeah, which they'll be dealing Debo Samuel probably, but
yeah, we got Brock Purdy here.
next year.
Actually, I was saying to Mason during the season that he looks better in terms of his movement. I feel like he was moving with confidence.
I think Brock Purdy is a top half quarterback. I don't think he deserves a huge bag.
No,
as being paid
$25 million a year maybe.
So I almost feel like the Niners could explore other options, but they probably will pay him. But I just hope it's not as much as I'm seeing.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy numbers thrown out. Here.
Yeah, I think that he's good, but
we're at 20 minutes. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. These top 10 are going to be interesting though. Jordan Love at 14. I mean, he's a Toyotathon merchant.
And then he just stinks.
Yeah, like during Toyotathon though, he is phenomenal. Like probably top 6. Yeah. But outside, he's just so rough. Which is weird that that's the metric we're using, but it's accurate. So.
Yeah, no. Honestly though, he played pretty well, and then they hit the
playoffs. He fell off.
Yeah, they hit the Vikings at the end of the year, and they lost.
You know who else? You know who else they hit at the end of the year?
The Chicago
Bears. And yeah, you lose to the Bears at home, man. You can't do that. It's Packers.
Yep. Caleb Williams, first win at Lambeau Field. He's the Lambeau Field owner.
Oh yeah.
Undefeated at Lambeau Field. All right.
Undefeated in 2025.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody else can say that.
Exactly. And Bo Nix.
Except for the Eagles, I guess.
Yeah. Bo Nix is our number 13. This guy's actually kind of a dog. We a lot of people are very hesitant on him coming in, like taking him so high up, and so are we. We did not agree with this pick.
Yeah.
And he is, I want to say, a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I would agree because, I mean, if you look at the Broncos, Sean Payton has always gotten along with the type of quarterback that Bo Nix is. Like Drew Brees has actually a lot of similar metrics to when he was drafted to Bo Nix. So you look at that and you're like, okay, it's pretty obvious why Sean Payton picked this guy. He wanted this guy. And the Broncos look pretty gosh darn good, so we'll give him that.
And I think Bo Nix is very talented.
I agree.
I think the second best rookie quarterback is accurate.
Yeah, but like as of right now, we can, yeah.
And I mean, like I said, he's a franchise. He will be probably a very good quarterback as time goes on.
And I'm putting this in this video right now. I think that this draft class of quarterbacks will go down as the best quarterback draft class of all time.
Yeah, I think this draft class is going to go down as one of the best draft classes of all time, period.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Then another guy who's going to go down all time, again, I don't know who's next, so I'm just saying this, is CJ Stroud. Oh, yeah, this guy could go down. Yeah, CJ Stroud. He's a dog. This season was a little rough stats-wise.
Off. But you could argue, too, like, part of that, Bobby Slowick, their offensive coordinator, didn't really adjust from last year, and he was caught on to what they were doing. So
yeah, and I will say, Stroud still played very good from, like, time to time. He
had first string or two best wide receivers out most of the season.
Yeah,
so
he was down to Nico Collins at the end, but Nico was out for a while.
Yeah, Nico was out for a while too. So yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when he had all three of his receivers healthy, he was. I mean, their pass game was crazy. But yeah, we got Stroud. And this next one, I know who's next, and it's probably gonna make a lot of people mad. Actually, it did make a lot of people mad because in our video about this player that we recently released, which is very good, go check it out. We had a few comments of people disagreeing, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yep, I have Patrick Mahomes at 11. I mean, he did not look impressive this season,
Not
or
at
last,
all.
to be quite honest. And I don't to really see him going up from here. But we'll see. Obviously, next season hasn't started yet, so we can't tell.
And I wanna kind of add to Mason's thing. They're not going up, and you're thinking, oh, if he bounces back, he'll go up. But these 10 players ahead of him are all young, for the most part, with a couple exceptions.
Well, yeah.
Most of them are young, and they have room to keep going. And then the past like 6 are literally like first to third year players.
Yeah.
So assuming nobody gets better, he might move up. But we have Mahomes there, and then I mean, you wouldn't expect this. I mean, you'd expect that maybe at 1 and 2 if you're going off wins. Yeah, Jalen Hurts at 2 or at 10 to kick off our top 10. And
honestly, I don't even know if I'd put him at 10. If it was like just off a regular season, I might have put him lower. Because he just didn't. Honestly, was not that impressive.
Yeah.
In the season, I mean, most of his touchdowns were rushing touchdowns on the tush push.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that impressive to me.
But he's still. I mean, I think. Okay, so I don't like Jalen Hurts very much. I don't think he's phenomenal. But I will say his decision making is usually very good. From what I've understood, like he's very good at knowing when to run, very good.
His arm talent's not amazing.
Yeah, he has a rocket of an arm, but his aim is not great. Or his aim, I don't know. I've seen him sling some deep passes.
Yeah, but not like Josh Allen.
Not like Josh Allen, who's definitely ahead of him, Mr. MVP himself. Then moving up, we got Sam Darnold at 9. The regular season merchant right here.
Yeah,
for once.
Towards the end, you can see it fall apart.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly, that might be pretty indicative of what next season for him is going to look like. But I do think he played pretty well during the regular season, and honestly, for a while there, he was in MVP talks.
He was, for most of the season until weeks 18, 17, 18. Yeah, that's why we moved. He probably would have been 6 or 7, maybe 5, assuming week 18 didn't happen, but.
Yeah.
He just fell apart at the end, so we had to bump him down.
Yeah.
Number 8, we got Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert has consistently been one of the best quarterbacks in the league that constantly gets overlooked.
I mean, 3 interceptions in the regular season is something else.
Was only 3?
Yeah.
What?
Because he threw just as much in the playoff game.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
But obviously the playoffs are where the Chargers have struggled. They cannot get past that first round. They just can't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but...
And their team is still missing a couple pieces here and there, but...
Wide receivers is huge. They don't have anybody.
They have Ladd.
Drop the ball.
Yeah, Ladd it's literally Ladd McConkey. Quentin Johnson still can't catch.
Johnson, yeah, he's got no hands. So
and then they don't have a tight end that's relevant. Their line, I think, is okay. Their running backs are kind of a mess.
Well, yeah, actually...
Joe Walt. Yeah, Joe Walt's a dog.
Their line has been much better.
So
hope he can take a step forward again. But
yeah, Justin Herbert's just been. I like Justin Herbert. I mess with Jay Herbo. And then another guy that we mess with a lot here, I think, Baker Mayfield. One of my favorite quarterbacks. Probably my favorite quarterback. Honestly, I love this man. I don't know how you can't like Baker Mayfield. He's just awesome. He's fun to watch. And if you're saying why is Baker Mayfield 43 touchdowns? Yeah. We're not saying stats, but he just scored at will.
An amazing quarterback season.
Yeah. And I want to say this too. One of you say, "Oh, but he had 16 interceptions." Where's your pulling up the stats when you were saying Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he just gets a lot of interceptions. That doesn't matter.
I mean, obviously not this year, but last year.
Yeah, that was an old argument. But still, you can't say it for him and not Baker, because Baker literally just did what he wanted on the field.
Well, and if you look at Eli Manning, you guys would call Eli Manning a good quarterback, and he was an interception freaking.
And Peyton Manning too, right?
Peyton Manning was not. Well, his rookie season was bad.
Yeah,
his rookie season was really bad, but. Other than that, he just upward from there.
Either way, we're talking more about past than we are current quarterbacks. Next up at 6, we got Matthew Stafford, who is a very old quarterback. And I think it's coming towards the end of his career. I want to say not because he's getting worse, but because he's getting kind of older.
Yeah, I think that he honestly, this season was an amazing season for him because he was able to win even when he had limited weapons.
Yeah, that's
like sort of the same story as Baker Mayfield over there, but just injuries around him, like sort of hindered him.
even him. He was playing through injuries, I think, a decent bit too.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he was pretty gosh darn good. So.
I mean, he showed yet again that he's a stupidly talented quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to either get traded or stay with the Rams and have another good. I think he has 2 more good seasons than him.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's showed signs of regressing, like at all.
Yeah.
I
agree.
So he's going to be. I mean, Stafford at 6. Some people are going to disagree with that, but I don't think it's a crazy take. And number 5, Jayden Daniels, rookie of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, absolute dog.
He played incredibly this season, and I don't think you can argue otherwise. It's just they used him right.
Yeah, they used him perfectly.
When you use a rookie quarterback right, you usually get pretty good production out of him. And I would argue that people say, well, the Bears should have drafted Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels would not have been the player he is right now if he wasn't on the Bears. I'll tell you that much.
Caleb Williams would have probably been the really good one.
Yeah,
especially because he had Clint Kubiak too. So probably
not Clint Kubiak. He had
Kingston. That's what it was. I couldn't think of the name. So it probably would have clicked. Or I don't know. I might be getting my coaches mixed up. Either way, Jayden Daniels, he's a dog. He came out 70% completion rate like most of the season as a rookie. With he had no interceptions for a while too.
Yep.
So 5 is not crazy. Now, before we continue with our top 5, the next 4, if you haven't noticed, are the MVP candidates.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that because they're the MVP. We did that because they're the best 4 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, I agree.
And the worst of the 4, weakest of the 4, which I don't think is a crazy thing to say, is Jared Goff.
Yep.
He is he is phenomenal. He is an elite passer. He can't move.
Yep.
The second he has to scramble, he's done for.
Completely immobile. And when it comes to big games, he just chokes. He does.
Either a choke artist or the biggest clutch quarterback ever.
Yeah, you never know what kind of Jared Goff you're getting. So that's our biggest problem with him. And that's why he's number 4.
Yeah, and I think that's not a crazy thing to say. And I think another maybe slightly crazy thing to say would be Josh Allen at 3? The MVP at 3?
I don't think it's crazy though. We're talking about how the quarterbacks played, how they played respectively, and I think that he was the 3rd best this year.
That being said,
MVP is not based off of your stats. It's not based off.
I do think he deserves his MVP.
I do think so too, because he was working with considerably less
than the other 2 guys above him.
2 guys, offensively at least, considerably less than the other 2 guys on this list. So, that's why he's at 3. I think that he played great, just not as good as the other 2. Period.
Yeah, so we'll move on to the other 2. And coming in at number 2 is a former MVP.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Honestly, if he deserved MVP, it would be this year and not last year.
He did deserve MVP this year just as much as Josh Allen, and just as much as Joe Burrow, and just
he was
as much
more deserving for MVP than last year, though. I don't know if he deserved MVP last year, but that's just me.
But he was a dog this year. That doesn't matter. Lamar, was that his name? Is that how you spell it? That looks wrong.
Oh no, it's Lamar.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
gotta love this guy.
Lamar Jackson.
This season he was a dog. He had, I want to say, 1 interception that was actually an interception. 40 some touchdowns? 41, right?
Yeah, total. I think.
Total, 41 total.
But absolutely incredible. He had over 5,000 total yards, I think, himself. Just crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
And then
definitely one of the best seasons. But
the guy who a lot of people don't think he did great, and I've known that from who I've been talking to, and we both think is the best quarterback in this league this year, without a doubt, Joe Burrow.
Without any arguing. Joe Burrow, 4,900 yards.
It's 4,980. You got to add that.
Yeah.
It's 20 off of
5,000 yards. Almost 5,000 yards. 5,000 yards total, 100%.
Oh yeah. 43 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah. Incredible. He was incredible this season, and if he had a defense.
Yeah, that was the only issue. And you got to think too. Like, yeah, they were 9-8. Yeah, they were 9-8. The 8 games that they lost, I don't think there was one game that wasn't one score.
Yeah.
And if it were one score, most of them were within 2 or 3 points. Now let me add 2. They lost like 2, maybe 3, probably 4 games because who's their kicker again?
Oh, Evan McPherson.
Yeah, Evan McPherson can't kick from beyond 40 when it matters.
Yeah.
And if they won one of those, they would have made the playoffs. And I honestly think they would have gone further than the Chiefs. Oh, they would have played the Chiefs probably in the second round.
Yeah.
We would have been seeing a Bengals-Bills AFC championship more than likely.
Yeah. I mean, it would be more enjoyable.
Oh, 100%. But either way, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the league. I don't think...
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue with it because, honestly, this year, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen played phenomenally. But I think...
But honestly,
it was Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
He was...
Like, when it comes to being a quarterback, not being... Yeah.
He balled out.
The most valuable player.
And he was running. I saw him moving a lot this year. I feel like more than usual.
Yes, he's everything the Bengals needed. So
yeah, except now they need a defense, and he can't be that.
Yep. So that is the end. That is our QB rankings, and we just thank you for watching this.
We sure do.
If you are here,
yeah, if you're at 36 minutes, geez, you were.
Yep. Thanks for watching. We just hope that you like this video, like it, comment, and subscribe for us.
For the algorithm too, yeah.
We always say, and subscribing is free.
It
gets us up there.
Helps us out.
We just thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Later. Dang, 2 for 2 on the timing on that.